So today I'd like to talk about this young lady that I met named Mary. And Mary was, perfect. I guess, like most women that I've dated, things started off wonderfully. We had chemistry, we clicked. We had the same, taste in music. We had lots in common. And the conversations we had were awesome. We couldn't get enough of each other. And, but I knew to take things slow from past experiences, so I didn't rush into anything. Well, we went out on a few dates and, dinner, movies. And we had such a great time. I couldn't believe it. I said, well, maybe, this long, arduous journey might be coming to an end, right? Because I'm such a good picker. So let's just see. And I was excited about a date that we had coming up. This time we were going to hang out at the park, and she was going to bring her children. Mary, she's a single mom, and that was okay with me. It might not be okay with everyone, but it was okay with me. It's not a deal breaker. So she had 3 young children between the ages of 3 and 7, and we got to the park, and her kids were playing, and they were, nice, clean-cut kids, and they seemed to be very mannerly. So I was like, hey, okay, so far so good. So the kids played while we sat at the bench and just talked and enjoyed the beauty of nature and children playing and, a lot of people at the park. So then it happened. One of our kids began crying. I think they were running and tripped. That's what it looked like. So she said, excuse me for a second, and she walked over to her kid and she yanked the kid up off the ground and said, hey, if I have to come back over here again, I'm going to, you're going to regret it. I mean, she didn't just say it, she yelled it so loud that everybody in the park stopped what they were doing to look and see what was going on. So the kid got up, with the scared look in his eyes, and ran over to the other kids and, continued to play. She walked back over smiling and just continued the conversation where we left off. Like, this just didn't just happen, right? So anyway, I was like, I don't know the backstory. Maybe this kid's been doing something all morning and she's just kind of at her wit's end. So I, made a mental note, but I kind of kept it, from interrupting the flow. So we continued to talk and, conversation was excellent, but then her kids started arguing. The other 2 children were arguing. From what I could see, it looked like there was one swing and there were 2 kids and they couldn't decide who's going to go first. Normal kid stuff. And she looked at me and said, excuse me, I'll be right back. And I was thinking, okay. So she walked over to her children. She grabbed one by the ear and she screamed, if I have to come back over here and talk to you one more time, you are going to regret it. And everyone at the park can hear this and is looking at her. And she just was oblivious. Everyone, paying attention to her. Maybe she thought she was at home. I don't know. But she took the other kid and grabbed him by the arm and she drug him away over to a tree. And then she whacked him on his butt 5 times. I counted them because they were really resounding smacks on the butt. And they were really intense because every time she hit this little kid on his butt, his feet, he left the ground. His feet left the ground. She was whacking him hard. And I was thinking, holy cow, I reserve judgment. I don't want to think the worst. So I'm like, okay. So then she said to him, if you don't stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about. And he was trying not to cry, but, the tears and whimpers came. So she gave him 10 more of these Incredible Hulk smacks on his butt, lifting this kid up off the ground. And she said, we want to try again. And he covered his mouth with both hands, trying to suppress the screams, rivers of tears running down his face. And somehow he was able to contain that scream to the point that satisfied her. And she walked away and said, don't make me have to come back again. So she walked back over to me in the bench where we were sitting, smiling, and just picked up the conversation right where we left off. Like, this really? Did she see what just happened? Everybody at the park was just kind of, a lot of people were just kind of staring at her in disbelief. So I didn't know what to do with this. I didn't know how to fit this in my head. but I knew I needed some time to, process it. So I told her, I smiled. I said, hey, I'm having a great time, but you know what? I have an appointment. Just got a text. I got to take this, So I gave her a call later, all right? And she was like, all right, baby, I'll see you soon. And I was like, okay. So I went to talk to my boys. My boys are my boys. We talk about things. And they said, dude, this woman is Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. She's a flip out artist. And I was like, it looks like it, huh? They were like, yeah, you gotta leave her alone because she is bad news, dude. Run while you can. And so I said, yeah. I don't want to deal with a crazy kid beating psychopath woman. So I'm like, I'm done. She can beat it. So I told her to beat it, or I told her that I couldn't see her anymore, and she was just stunned. Like, I don't know why. Like, everything's so perfect. And I was like, it's me. It's not you. So time went by, and I was thinking, man, I dodged a bullet because I don't want to be with the child beater. I'm not that type of person. And I was really judgmental. But as time went by, the years passed, I was thinking to myself, I feel sad for her. I pray for her because she probably picked that up along the way. Maybe her parents beat her and it's just such a normal thing in her mind, based on how she was raised. Or, I don't know, maybe she just has poor skills at coping with anger. She needs anger management. I don't know. But what I do know is that people don't go stand in line and pay money to get a large dose of these issues that they have. So maybe she didn't want to be that way. Maybe she didn't know that there was anything better. Hopefully she found help. Hopefully those kids are safe and they found help because they might need counseling after this being raised by her. So hopefully she found what she needed in life, and I hope you found what you need in life too. I'm the storyteller, and I'll see you next time. Peace.